Hey boys, if you didn't know, I'm going to be back in Surfers Paradise in just 3 weeks' time. I want to help you and your friends celebrate finishing school. So congratulations, boys. Now it's time to get me on my knees.
Right guys, today I'm going to be blessing you with the gift that keeps on giving, Bonnie Blue. Now we had a look at her, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, and it was a painfully hellish experience. If you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, she is a 25-year-old OF model who rose to infamy by basically saying that she bonks barely legal students, as well as having had 100 men queue up for her in one day to basically pipe her. This is all I can say. So she's a wonderful, wonderful lady who is really helping society, and I'm really glad that she exists to drag women back through society and completely ruin the progress we've made. So today we're going to be having a look at 2 podcast episodes that she's been on recently, because they're pretty much revolting, and I just wanted to discuss a few things with you about it. Of course I did, so enjoy.
We have got the one and only Bonnie Blue.
Hi.
Yes, we've got Bonnie Blue in the house, or 100 houses in one day, whatever you want to say. Yeah, that's not a flex. I've seen a lot of people quite upset at GK Barry for bringing her on, and rightly so. I'm quite impartial to GK Barry. I haven't really got an opinion on her. I think her podcasts are good. I don't know. I don't really watch her. But yeah, I do agree that it is slightly strange that she's platformed Bonnie Blue, because she platformed Bonnie way after loads of people have already started to speak up about her, which does obviously give the impression that she got her on because people hate her for really valid reasons, meaning she's going to get views on her podcast, right? And part of me understands the logic there, I guess, but another part of me is thinking, you could have just thought a little bit harder there, Grace, because she's not very well liked at the moment on social media for admitting that she sleeps with barely legal teenage boys and targets students at clubs, so maybe wasn't the smartest of ideas.
It's so good to have you on.
Thanks for having me on.
You've
Feel
been
honoured.
I've seen you everywhere.
Yeah, good.
You have been absolutely everywhere. So I need to get the tea today.
Well, the tea, Grace, is that she is quite predatory, actually. She targets her content at a younger audience, so she'll get very young men buying her OnlyFans, and she sleeps with barely legal students, who, by the way, a lot of people were commenting on the last video I did of her saying, well, I'm sure she actually doesn't. I'm sure she doesn't actually have sex with like 400 people in one go. I'm sure she actually doesn't target students who will queue up for her longer than you queued for toilet roll during COVID. And I have had the unfortunate sight of being on her Twitter, and I can confirm she does do these things. So for anyone that wants to thank me for doing my hard-earned research, thank you very much. No worries, absolutely no problem. But she does do these things. Just, I think it's good to get that out there at the start of the video. And yeah, Grace, she has been everywhere, in multiple beds of teenage boys who have just turned 18. I love me some freshly 18-year-old boys for my OF. Please don't clip that out of context. I'm not helping myself, am I?
Okay, yeah. Well, where should we start?
Okay, should we start pre-career of what you're doing now? What did you do before? What was the vibe?
Recruitment. So I was like, skip recruitment.
Yeah.
Obviously knew about OnlyFans. I was like, I'll give it a go. Didn't expect much of it though.
Okay.
Sorry, did she just say I'm too good for the average life? No comment about whether you're good or not. But secondly, I don't know, man. I would take an average life over piping 18-year-old boys that have just turned 18. But I mean, this is all an act, right? We know that this is all a little act to help promote her OF. I kind of look at her and I think there's nothing going on behind those eyes. I'm not going to lie. Like, she's like a robot. It's like a robotic existence. I don't think she actually knows what day it is. I don't think she actually knows what her actual name is. And I mean, don't even get me started on whether she knows what body count she's on.
When you started OnlyFans, was it just like underwear pics?
No, you have to be interested for that.
Okay.
Well, this is a good start. We're making progress. She's got some self-awareness. Oh, that's just cruel. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. We are forgetting, Katie, here, that she is very much a predator. So I'm not sorry. You're boring as But I think the main point to watching this podcast that Grace has done with her today is that people are criticising Grace because they're saying that she doesn't have a backbone and she doesn't know how to basically challenge people, right? And like, I don't really care about that, to be honest. That's not her style. She doesn't need to do that if she doesn't want to. But what I would say, if you're not willing to challenge people that are doing questionable things and damaging things as well to society, then maybe don't bring them on your podcast. I would only bring people onto my platform people if I'm going to criticize them and I'm going to challenge them. And people will cry at that anyway because they're like, why are you platforming people? But I don't agree with that either, because ultimately these people are already very much platformed. And if people are going to platform Bonnie, for example, like Grace is doing, at least say, you don't think that's a little bit strange? But you're not going to do that, which is fine, because that's not you. We're not all confrontational assholes. But then don't bring her on, because you're just letting her act like an absolute fucking piece of shit. And that is where we all have the problem.
So I went from 0 to 100 very quickly.
You went
overnight.
Straight to sex. Mm-hmm. Was this with someone you knew, or did you just go, fucking come here?
No, like just went on like Instagram, searched content creators in my area, messaged them, met up with them, no idea what I was doing.
Another reason this is problematic, and I think as women and as a society, we need to be thinking about this, is that platforming the most successful OF creators is damaging. Yeah, platforming in this celebratory way, and it is celebratory because she's not actually criticizing Bonnie at all, right? Is damaging because so many girls out there still believe that OF is empowering, okay? OF is not empowering. Anybody watching this, right? It's not empowering. Bonnie Blue is one of the top creators, right? Which she's achieved by saying grim things online and shock factor, right? But most people out there right now that are contemplating starting an OF aren't going to be successful because they haven't had a platform prior, which, to be fair to Bonnie, she does say, if you're not interesting, right, if you're not already an influencer, you're not going to get great traction straight away. She's still, though, perpetuating this idea, you can just do it. That's what these top OF models do when they come online and they talk about it in such a prideful way. Sex work is still work. I know that. And I know I have a plethora of people probably waiting to call me a radical feminist. And I don't care. All right. Sex work isn't empowering. It is work, but it shouldn't have to be. All right. Because for most people out there that are trying OF, it's because they have no other choice. They can't pay their bills. And that is a separate societal issue. These top OF influencers, it's like, that's great. You make your money that way. But other people, you can't do that. Okay. Most people sat there right now, you're just turned 18. You're thinking about what you could earn a little bit of money doing. You won't be able to do this. And that is the dangerous narrative that is pushed by these 0.5% OF stars. And it isn't glamorous, and it's not good, and it's not empowering, and it is dangerous to society, because any form of pornography is dangerous to society. And I'm genuinely just so sick of this idea that we can sell ourselves online and it can be seen as feminist, because it's objectively not. Call me all sorts of names, all right, I've heard it all, but it's not feminist at all. It's actually terrible, and this is terrible. And I don't know when, as a society, we're going to heal from this. I don't think we are, to be honest. But a good start would be, don't platform her unless you're going to challenge her. Christ.
My first scene was an orgy and was all sort of in silence.
Hell.
Yeah.
It was at an asylum, did you say?
Silent.
I'm actually thinking about what to say. This should not be normalised, and I think as a society, so many women now are scared to come online and say, this isn't empowering, this isn't feminism, free the nip isn't a helpful form of feminism, all that kind of stuff. That we had a little period in society where we were like, yay, and I did it, I was guilty of it. I was guilty of it when I was younger, thinking that do OnlyFans, girl, you get that bag. You will get that bag maybe, but you've got a 2% chance. And also, you're being used. You're giving in to the patriarchy. So can we not normalise this behaviour? Can we not? And girls, right? Girls and boys, don't be afraid to say that this isn't empowerment. But that doesn't mean to say, men, that you can sit there at home behind your keyboards calling women right? Because they're doing this, because you're not helping, all right? If you're going to come online and criticise this woman or OF women who do dangerous content like this and push the narrative that this is okay, you have to choose your words wisely, all right? Because just sitting there calling somebody a and ran through and loose isn't constructive, and you're part of the problem. So please think about your words, because you're actually also not helping women.
Is there a moment during filming your OnlyFans that you've thought, nah, f*** this, and stopped?
No, not really, because quite quickly it was doing quite well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this as a living. Yeah. But it was like the content I was making to start with was the same as everyone else. It was same generic boy-girl content. A few more just like, I was like, this isn't different. Like, why would someone subscribe? Like, there's that many videos online. I'm like, why would they want to subscribe? Like, yes, I can pretend being like a nurse. I can pretend doing this, but it's fake.
Yeah.
Like,
what? OF is fake. You're telling me that you won't just stick to dressing up as a nurse or whatever because it's fake. No, that's not what it is at all. That's not what it is. You know that's not going to make enough money because, like you just said, that's not original. So you had to bring in the shock factor. The shock factor being, I'm Bonnie Blue and I bash 100 people in one session. I'm Bonnie Blue and 1,000 men queue up for me for some of this. I hate myself. The point is, you know full well that you went for something that would get you in controversy, which saying on your videos, I love fresher students, I love barely legal teenage boys, is a perfect way to get people to talk about you. I don't think she's stupid. I genuinely don't. I think there's a lack of thoughts going on behind there. But when it comes to OF, she clearly does know what she's doing. But then again, don't sit there, people, and praise her and think she's so smart, she's a genius. She's not a genius. She just knows how to create drama. Anyone can do that. If I now, right, quit YouTube and went on a mad one and just started doing some heinous things on my social media to promote my OF, like, I don't know, shoving blocks of cheese up my asshole, people would be like, oh, Katiclyzm took a weird turn. Fucking hell, let me have a look at her OF. Maybe you wouldn't. But you get my point? It's actually not that crazy. And I actually have this huge pet peeve where society absolutely praises these women, like Belle Delphine, for example, for being geniuses, for doing shocking, weird content to promote their OF. That's weird. Could we maybe praise women that have actually done good stuff to help society?
Right, so you've got freshers.
yeah.
Do they have to sign? Because do you post the videos from that online?
Yeah, because it's free for them.
They have to sign consent forms. Okay.
So they come in, have to show me ID.
Christ. You know, I quite enjoy my life because I get to have intimate relations with my partner. What is this? This sounds like some weird. That sounds sus. That's weird. I'm just trying to say I enjoy my life intimately, yeah? Because I know that when I sleep with my partner, I don't have to ask him to whip out his ID card because I know he's of age and he looks like he's of age. And I'm not in a position where I could potentially be getting in trouble because I don't know who I'm sleeping with because I haven't got a queue the size of England outside my doorstep waiting to pipe. So, I mean, you could just do that or you could just not do it at all and you could just quit.
And does the consent form just say, I'm posting this online?
Yeah, it's just like a generic only. Do you like accept? Are you being like forced into it?
Okay.
I'm like, are you being forced into it?
I mean, if they're queuing, I guess probably not to.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, people think like it's wrong or like I force them into it. I'm like, they're queuing for over 8 hours down that line.
Yeah.
Like, they very much want to be here.
Okay, right. Here now we can get into the little breaking down of what she's saying. She's essentially just said, they're queuing, they want it. It's not wrong. People think it's wrong. It's not. Can I just remind you that predators aren't necessarily forcing people, right, to do bad stuff. They're not forcing people to do stuff with them. They're not forcing themselves on people. Not all predators do that, yeah? Just because these boys, these 18-year-old freshly legal boys are queuing up for you, doesn't mean that further down the line, they're going to be like, what the hell? And again, people will say, well, it's their choice, you know, they're 18. And yeah, it is their choice, right? She's not technically breaking the law, but it is wrong. You can't say, oh, it's people say it's wrong, but it's not because they want to, because that is such a flawed sentence. I would say what you're doing is predatory. You're making money from this, first of all. You're the only person making money. And yes, these people are queuing to have sex with you, but they're clearly not all there in their head. You can't tell me that people queuing 8 hours to sleep with someone who has had sex with multiple people before you are all there in their head, because they're not. And imagine if it was the other way around. Imagine it's a guy with loads of women that have just turned 18 queuing up. That is when people all of a sudden realise how weird and wrong it is.
Do the videos do well or do better if they're good looking or if they're a little bit of a minger? Respectfully.
Mingers.
Right.
Yeah.
Christ, that's weird. This is so strange. What, like, a weird and not very nice thing to say anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a saint. I'm horrible to people sometimes. That's just who I am, yeah. But these people are queuing to sleep with you. They're clearly not okay in the head. And you're like, yeah, the mingers do better. The mingers do better. Nice. Classy lady. all the feminists out there that have fought for women's rights, I bet they're doing somersaults in their grave right now that we have podcasts like this. Reminding me, people that like to say feminism and female liberation is all about choice. No, it's not actually. That is where you're wrong, okay? It's not just about choice, because you can have two terrible choices for a woman. You can have two terrible options. Just because a woman has a choice of two terrible things doesn't mean because she's got a choice that she's liberated, right? So if a woman's really, really poor, for example, and her choice is that she can do OF to get money, that's not female liberation. That's not feminism. That's not equality.
I know your virgin ones do well.
Oh, yeah. I'd say like for my the good looking ones do better, 'cause my is like get them straight in.
Of course.
Sometimes when they don't look as good looking, like struggle sometimes a little bit, but a bit of spit, I'm all good.
Oh my God. There are so many things wrong with coming online to say that. You're perpetuating this idea that women don't have to necessarily be enjoying sex to do it, which is a massive problem already. Ladies and gentlemen, if the woman has to spit on it to get it in, maybe you guys should take a break and do something else, yeah? Go for a walk, grab a coffee, discuss politics, do anything other than have sex. Women's pleasure is already not taken seriously enough. That's a good fact for you all. Not that you probably already know that if you're a woman sat at home, you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to show my boyfriend this, yeah. So it's not normal to say that. You should never be in a position where you're like, holy shit, man, it's the Sahara Desert down there, but I'm just going to make it work for the guy, just for the OF. That's really not great. That's really not good for you. And for your brain, Bonnie, you can't be happy. One day it's going to catch up with you.
You have like a little bit of a convo with them when they come in, or do you just straight to it?
Yeah, because bless them, they're so nervous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're holding their ID up, they're shaking, they're trying to sign the consent forms. It's looking like I'm literally holding them like to their will, but
I don't even have anything to say about that. And like, again, I have to criticise Grace again. I have to. It's not funny, Grace. That's not funny. That's shocking. Yeah, and I understand, Grace, that you may be sat there thinking like, I don't really know what to say and I'm uncomfortable. But as I said before, if you're not ready to challenge people and call out other women for really weird behaviour, then don't have them on. You know, views aren't everything, she says. But genuinely, that's weird as hell. And as a woman, you shouldn't feel comfortable having sex with a man who is just turned 18, who is really uncomfortable and really nervous. And even if they are eager and they're queuing there and it's their decision, you also have to remember that this is just perpetuating the idea that men are almost lucky to be in these situations. You know, they should be enjoying it, and queuing up isn't weird because they're men. But if it was women queuing up, imagine what people would say about them. It's just really odd.
I can understand why they'd be nervous.
100%.
They don't know me. They've just queued up for hours on end. All they know is that I'm videoing it and they don't know what to expect.
Yeah, especially I feel like if you're a virgin, that's a very big move.
Honestly, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Because they walk away with so much confidence.
Do they?
Honestly, people think I'm joking when I say I'm a community worker, but like they come to me.
Community worker. I'm sorry, but if you're still watching this and you think that there's nothing wrong with this, do you genuinely think that a woman taking a guy's virginity, right, who is queued with loads of other men to have sex isn't grim? Can you genuinely say that that's not strange? And let's not forget that she is now high up, right, in the social media influencer world. She's got power. She's got power above other people because other people will queue for her because she's big. She's big online. It would be like if I did this. Well, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be the same. But if I all of a sudden decided I was going to do this, I would think that is considered grooming because you've got a platform, you know? You've got a platform, so people are going to do it. But what are they gaining from it? They're literally they're nobodies, right? That are queuing for you because you're big and you've made it now and you're an influencer. That is considered grooming, I fear.
People pick on virgins and stuff all the time.
Yeah, they do.
They come to me unsure on what they're doing and they don't know what to experience. And I can sort of educate them in the bedroom. So when they go and see that next girl, like they've got so much confidence, they know what they're doing.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm sorry. You don't do that, Bonnie. Okay? I know what you're doing. You sat there, you're trying to take the moral high ground, all right? Acting like you're doing everybody a favour by sleeping with these men. It's for the greater cause, I promise. I promise I'm piping multiple men at once that I've only just turned 18, but it's to help them in the next bedroom. I can assure you that if I slept with someone and they told me their prior partner was Bonnie Blue, we're no longer seeing each other. I'm no longer letting you anywhere near my body. Because anyone that queues for her clearly is not all there in the most polite manner, or is very, very, very insecure, like she said, and wants to lose their virginity. But that's maybe a problem as a society that we need to address, rather than having OF models greatly and bravely and passionately help the country by turning virgins into experienced sex people. How are they going to be experienced, right? Because I'm sorry, if you're having a queue of 18-year-olds wait for you and you're there all day, you can't be having much time with each one. So how much are you really teaching them? You're using them for views. You're literally using them. You're not teaching them shit. You're faking as well all of this sexual performance, because that's what OF is. So you're not teaching them anything. In fact, you're doing the opposite. You're doing them a disservice for the next woman, because they're going to believe that what they just did with you was the best. Oh, I know how to pleasure a woman. I pleasured Bonnie Blue in 60 seconds before the next man came in. Listen to yourself, you absolute freak.
I also feel like it's kind of a flex. Like, who did you lose your virginity to?
Oh my God,
Bonnie
exactly.
Blue. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, it's a flex, all right. It's a flex of some form. Comment down below, guys, if you think it's a flex to lose your virginity to someone who's just been pumped by 70 other men. Is that a flex? Or is it a flex to say that you lost your virginity at your own pace because there's absolutely zero pressure to not be a virgin? So, I don't know. Let's see what the general public think.
Yeah, like builders and dads, because I feel like a lot of my subscribers are older as well.
Right.
So I don't want to discriminate. I don't want to just do students. I want to do their dads as well. To be fair, I need to give credit to the student. So he gave me this idea.
Okay.
He came with his dad.
You have failed as a parent if you are the dad who did that. You're genuinely a piece of shit dad. You're a terrible father. That is predatory and alone. That is weird as hell. And that is inbred as hell. Like, I don't care if you're going together but separately. What the hell? So you're gonna have intercourse with the same woman but separately as father and son. Okay.
When I first saw him with his dad, I thought he's going to come and like tell me off.
Okay.
No, it was the opposite. He was jealous and wanted to join him.
Together?
I didn't know if that was too inbred. So I made him go separate.
Yeah,
His dad was next door in the same apartment. And I did the son first.
Okay.
Went to see the dad.
Yeah.
I still had his son's liquids on me.
Who was better, the son or the dad?
The son's penis was bigger.
Oh,
the dad was better.
That's so humbling for the dad.
Yeah.
Did she just admit that she goes from person to person without showering? We should have laws online that stop this kind of podcast. Podcasts should just be abolished. They truly should. This is like insane work. I actually am lost for words. That never happens, but that is vile.
Did you tell him that? No.
No, too
That's
nervous.
fair.
Go back for tea time that night with their mum.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Was he still with the mum?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, if she's not going to go down on him, I will do it.
You must do it yourself.
Grace, what are you doing? Have some decorum, all right? Right, if I have a podcast, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a friend, a guest, someone on my channel. If I heard that, I would be like, I'm sorry, you dirty greb. What? You don't do that. That's vile. This is your selling point or whatever, but I don't even doubt what you just said. That is disgusting. That is vile. You couldn't write this. People 10 years ago, we're going to have flying cars in 2024. No, we've got Bonnie Blue having intercourse with both a son and a dad, one after another, before both go back home to the mum and wife.
You've said online that you will fuck people's husbands.
Yeah.
No qualms. Have you ever had the wives message you or come after
all
you?
the time. I always get photos saying, have you slept with my husband? Like, have you been with my partner? And to be fair, like, I don't know. Like, I have been with that many people. Like, it's no secret my body count is getting very high.
Come on.
So I can't remember. Like, they're better off sending me like a dick pic than a profile
and
picture.
you know. Have you ever run into a wife that you know you've slept
Not
or no?
yet.
Okay.
No.
I mean, with the amount of people you've slept with, you definitely have ran into somebody. Like, that's not even a dig. Like, of course you have. You've slept with, by the sounds of it, the majority of the UK. And, like, I just can't believe this is even a thing. And, like, I can't believe this is a podcast episode that Grace would do. Like I said, I've never really had much of an opinion on Grace, but I do think this is really odd behaviour. I'm all for platforming people, even if they're terrible, but at least if you're going to do that, you've got to challenge them. Imagine, Grace, because you have a girlfriend, I think. Imagine they slept with your girlfriend. Then what? Would it be funny? Would it be like, ooh? Like, no, you would be very upset, I'm gathering. Like, yay, home wreckers, hell yeah.
Speaking of parents, how did you tell them you were doing this? What was their reactions?
Oh, okay. So a video got leaked to them.
Oh,
I'd only been in the industry 1 week. So I was a little bit nervous. Didn't know my position.
Oh
like
my
I said,
God.
Silent, not a highlight of my career.
Was that what got leaked?
Yes.
Okay. Could have been better ones that got leaked.
Do you know what I mean? It could have been a hot one.
Could have been.
Yeah, it could have been a hot one that got leaked to your parents. Could have been. I feel sick. I'm hungry. Well, I was hungry before. Now I'm not so much.
Your dad going and someone else. What's her opinion on your opinion of that?
So if my mum wasn't pleasing him or not doing the bare minimum, he's going to be going elsewhere. Like, and I've got friends that I can recommend.
At least a ball tickle.
Exactly.
At least, yeah.
Maybe a cheeky job.
Well.
She's saying that if her own mum wasn't taking care of her dad, she would set up her dad with one of her friends. Wow, you care about your mum. You really care about your mum. Oh, mum, you're having mental health issues and you just don't really feel like having sex anymore with dad? Oh, damn it, poor dad. I'm going to have to go out and find one of my many friends who can give dad a rimmy. That's weird. And like...
What do you expect? Like, I don't know why some people are so shocked when their partners cheat. I'm like, having sex is a big part of any relationship. And I think women too often go, oh, we don't have a big sex drive anymore. But
because they've been together a long time.
Yeah, like they just include their partner in that. And it's like, I can guarantee you he's going down the pub saying the opposite.
Well, the thing is, Bonnie, a lot of women have trauma, yeah? A lot of women are working through sexual trauma that means maybe their libido isn't what it was. And even if they haven't had trauma, maybe they just haven't got a high libido. Women should never feel pressured into having intercourse with anybody out of fear that if they don't, he's going to be off cheating. I don't know who raised you. I don't know where you're getting your moral compass from, but you are one messed up little individual who is maybe in need of some therapy. You know, maybe your OF money could buy you some therapy.
Yeah, relationships are terrifying. Even rimming. I can't believe you just brought that up.
Yeah.
No one teaches you about rimming. No.
So you can tell by Grace's reaction that I don't think Grace is entirely on the same page or comfortable with what Bonnie's saying. I think she's probably sat there thinking, But again, you've got to say something then. Or how about don't air the episode? I don't know. And I get why she did, business and all that, but come on. This is weird as fuck. You look uncomfortable. Bonnie's an asshole. Like, just stop it. Okay, to be quite honest, I'm done watching that. I can't cope with it. And also, it is like the same of the same. It's just her saying grim things that no one really wants to hear. And Grace going, yeah, fair enough. So I don't really think we need to continue watching that. But what I would say is her TikTok has been banned. Well, it was last time I checked anyway, which I guess is a start, you know, and a lot of people will disagree with that because censorship, if you're going to come online and talk about you pleasuring freshly 18-year-olds, then you should be banned. I'm sorry. Freedom of speech and all that, but no thank you. And again, it just reminds me of this whole overarching fact that it's so seen differently when it's men because men should be grateful for the opportunity and it's educational. It's not. It's none of those things, but I don't have to tell you guys that because I'm sure you know. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I had to put you all through that. I feel quite grim now, to be honest, and I'll see you in the next video if I'm still going.
Okay, so the 18th of November, me and Annie Knight are going to be outside the Meriton Surfers Paradise, and we want to pleasure you and help you celebrate finishing school.